All right. Well, again, my name is Cecily MacArthur, and I started doing these workshops here last summer. Actually, it was because last April I was laid off for the 5th time. So I know what you guys are going through. Just sign in here and have a seat. So I have an understanding of what it's like to be unemployed. And I went to Mike Caro here, and I said, you know, I teach classes. I would love to teach a class to people here because they have a lot of training that was available. I thought it'd be kind of fun. And he said, well, that'd be great. Can't pay you. You know, it would be great. So I volunteered. So twice a month since June of last year. I've been teaching one class here in Quincy and one class in Plymouth each month. And we started out in staying positive while unemployed, which will also be in our school if you want to go on and take that one. And then we've evolved into this creating your ideal job class. So to me it's really important for me to be able to give back to you all and to be able to have an opportunity to do this work because I identify so much with what you're going through and where you are. So I do this work in a larger sense as a life coach for people and look at their whole life and help them to design their life and be able to live their dream also. So it is the work that I do. I just have sort of packaged it and created it more for people looking for a job in this particular class. Do you see there's a whole lot of ideas? Some people have more definite concepts of what they want to do, but what we're going to work on here is to try to get in touch with what is it that really lights you up. Where is your passion? What are you really good at that you really want to bring forward and bring out maybe we had a lot of artist feelings or people who want to do their own work, be their own boss and have their own business. So this is an opportunity while you're unemployed to actually do that kind of exploration because you have the time. So hopefully what you're going to do today is to get you started on that path and to give you some ideas and some ways to actually explore yourself and get to know yourself better. So that's what today's going to be. We're going to do a lot of looking inside and finding out the things that you really want, the things that you're really passionate about, and then be able to see how you can leverage that into a profitable job. So that's our focus here for today. Any questions, comments on what we just talked about? All right, well, we're going to start this morning, and I'm going to have you all stand up. Now, you're going to have to put your right arm out straight, so you need enough room. You're going to have to spread out enough so that you don't smack somebody next to you. So, okay, you can turn, yeah, so you can angle yourself, but you're going to have to come across your body. So there you go. All right, so you don't want to hit anybody. There you go. All right, so this is an exercise in imagination. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just reach across to the left as far as you can go. And I want you to look down your fingers and sort of note on the rug or the wall or the furniture, you know, how far did you twist to the left? And when you've made a note of that, then you can swing back and put your arm down. Okay. So now we're going to use our imagination. This is an exercise to help you think about how we can actually open up opportunities in the future, but also think about how much of our mind is limited, what we think we can do and how we can change that. So here, this is direct evidence that you can do this on your own. So the second part of this is we're going to do it in our imagination. We're not going to lift our arm. We're just going to close our eyes. So everyone close your eyes. All right, I want you to picture lifting your arm up to the right, moving it across your body as far as it can go, and seeing it easily go way past where you went before, a good foot or two past where you went before. See how far you went, make a note of it, and then bring your arm back and put it down. Great. Okay. All right, now we're going to do this with our eyes open. So now that you have imagined this, we're going to try to do it for real and see what happens. All right, you ready for this? Okay, arm up. Over to the left. Okay. How many people went further the second time? Excellent. All right. That's all right. You were into it. That's good. Did you go further?
I was trying to push it, actually.
Yeah, you did. All right.
No,
okay, so you can sit. Thank you for being willing to do that experiment, but you can do the other side now. You can if you want to. But the idea here, and athletes do this all the time, and people, obviously, particularly golfers and skiers, they imagine in their mind what they're doing and doing it perfectly, and they see themselves doing it, and then they are able to actually have it happen. So our minds can do that. You thought the first time you went as far as you could go. That was it. But that's your head just saying that's all that I can do. When you use your imagination, you can actually expand that. So that's part of what we're going to do today. And we're going to try to really get more in touch with your imagination, because when you're a little child, people have children, they know children have great imaginations. And then as we get older, somehow we lose that. They even say by the first grade, unfortunately, a lot of children have lost a lot of their imagination. So as adults, we haven't practiced that. We only often use our imagination for catastrophes. So if something happens, you have a child that doesn't come home on the curfew time, now you suddenly imagine that they're in a ditch or in the hospital or something horrible has happened. So our minds will do the worry kind of imagination, but they don't tend to do the imagination that opens up possibilities. So that's what we're going to do here today. So let's go over the agenda. Oops, that didn't work, but it's loaded. Okay, there. Technology loves me. Okay. So we're going to start again with the first piece is knowing what you want. Now, several of you had some pretty good ideas. That's great. But that's another one of those aspects of us that we lose touch with. And an advantage of being laid off is you now have an opportunity to focus on yourself and to really maybe bring that out. Part of you, when you're working long hours and you're busy with responsibilities, your own wants kind of get put over to the side an awful lot. When you have the opportunity to really think about what really does work for me, what do I really want in my life. So we're going to spend some time sort of bringing that up for you. And then we're going to do a job visualization. Anybody here actually done a visualization? A couple of people. Okay, all right, good. So I promise it doesn't hurt. It's just, again, it's an exercise in using your imagination. So again, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again, and we're going to go through. It takes about 10 minutes, but we're going to look at what your ideal job is. So from the morning that you get up till when you leave your job at night, you're going to really pretend you're there. And you're going to think about all the things that you want to be there when you're there. So it's a really fun exercise. And people have had some amazing revelations in doing this process. So that should be really cool. So whatever comes out of that, we're going to form into an idea what you're going to go for your dream job. And then we're going to talk about how to really fortify that as an idea for you. And I don't think anyone here has been in my class before. I don't recognize people. You have? Okay, all right.
A year ago, maybe.
Okay, all right. So you did the staying positive with me? Yes. Okay. But I always have action plans. So, an idea or a concept in your head or just written down on a piece of paper doesn't do you any good unless you have an action plan to move forward, because your ideal job doesn't drop out of the sky. It would be nice, but that doesn't happen. You have to take action towards it. You have to move in that direction. So we're going to leave here with at least the first few steps that you need to take with some kind of time frame and a plan for you to get started to move towards your dream. And then if we've got some time left over, we will have just a quick little exercise on procrastination. Anyone have that as a problem? It is particularly when you get laid off because there's nobody on your shoulder but you. You're responsible for yourself, so it's really easy to put things off. So this is just a quick little exercise, again, using your imagination to help you to move forward. All right, any thoughts on the agenda? Okay. So one of the things that I really like you to do is to, when we move forward from here, is to take on a particular headset. So if I have two statements for you, say the world is against me, or the world is supporting me, where energetically do you feel you are at this point?
Oh, I got an appointment.
Well, I just want you to think about it. What I would really like you to take on as an attitude in this class is that the world is supporting me. So we really need to think of it as a positive place. If you're really stuck in it as being a negative place, this work is going to be difficult for you. So even if that's not where you are for these 2 hours, I'd like you to adopt that idea. And you can write this down. Good things are coming my way. Really think about what that feels like, and at least for these 2 hours, good things are coming my way. Okay, great. Thank you. So this is, I love quotes, and I actually had a woman in my class in Plymouth the other day. She's following me on Facebook because I do a lot of quotes. So does anybody have Facebook? Look for me there. I have lots of quotes. She's like, oh, that's so good. You have to sign up for this. So please do that if you want to follow me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter too. Anybody Twitter? Okay. Go for that. That's fine. I do like to use quotes because I find them very inspirational. And the first one is by a particular person that I absolutely feel is sort of the top inspirational, he's actually the top inspirational speaker in the world, Les Brown. Does anybody know Les Brown?
I worked at one of his conferences and got to see him. He's unbelievable.
He is, yes. I was just in...
Funny. Just a riot.
He is very funny. I was last week in LA where he was part of the conference, so we were learning to be better speakers, and he was there helping to teach us, and he is just hysterical. So an amazing man. Check him out on Google. Many videos of his up on the web, and they're all going to make you feel better. So take a look at that for Les Brown. He's definitely worth adding to your repertoire of making you feel better. So, but this quote in particular for what we're talking about today works really well. So too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Being unemployed adds a whole level of fear onto a world that's already quite fear-based. I have a friend of mine who talks about CNN as the constantly negative news. We are bombarded every day by things that tell us that, life is awful. And it's very hard to stay positive and to really think about your dreams and to really let go of that fear. And a lot of times we are running our lives from that fear place, particularly when we're unemployed because we're worried about paying the bills and taking care of our families and trying to find a job. And it'll just, the fear every day you get up and you're just, you're, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do this. But it's from fear. It's not from a place where you know that you're going to create something in your life. And that's very common and human. But the idea here is to really be conscious of the fact that you are doing that and know that you don't have to, that you can shift your life and live from your dream and make choices from your dream that are going to be a whole lot better than if you make them from fear. So if I said to you that there are a lot of people laid off in Massachusetts, the economy is really bad, and there aren't any jobs out there, what's your chance of getting a job? Pretty non-existent.
Go to the bar, stay home, don't try.
That's right. Don't even try. But a lot of people, it's in their head. That's what they believe. So the idea to think about it is, yes, there are a lot of people unemployed in Massachusetts. These are facts. Yes, the economy isn't as great as it should be, but there's one job out there for me. You know? Now what's your chance of getting a job? 100%. All right. I like your attitude. Definitely opens it up. Because all of you only need one job. You know, that's the issue. So think about it in that way. And watch the fear coming through today, because we're going to try to put that aside. But being human, it's going to come back. It's going to tell you things, whisper in your ear, and tell you, you can't do that. So just watch when it shows up. I like the second one, is people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I do not believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they cannot find them, make them. So George Bernard Shaw, I don't think you find him on YouTube, but he did write Pygmalion, or My Fair Lady. You know the story?
Right.
Okay, so a woman from the streets, he transformed her into a elegant, people thought she was a countess, right? It was in her all the time. He just had to treat her that way. So you think about that. We think when you are looking at your circumstances, you're unemployed. Now you get in this unemployed box, and that controls your life, that limits your life. Again, your thoughts are going to limit who you are, and you think that that is the driving force. But if you can shift it over and just say you're going to be able to make whatever circumstances you want. You can create me, or you can find what you want, or you can create it. We had several people here who were looking at something brand new that didn't exist today that they want to create. You can do that. You just have to live from that dream. And to know, like My Fair Lady, that you have it in you to do that. So, also, there are so many people who live in a dream world, and then there are some people who face reality, and then there are those who turn one into the other. And that's really what we're going to try to do here today. So I don't want to discount reality, because there are always some things going on you have to think about. But if that is all you have, is say again, the world is, there are no jobs, the world is small, the world is negative, there is fear. We're trying to move from just I have this dream, it's nice, it's just going to show up, to I have this dream, and I know that there is a reality, but I'm going to make my dream my reality. Because we all have that power. We were all born that way. We don't have to buy into the box that is reinforced to us every day. You can create whatever it is you want by your dream. And this fits to the next one. The future you see is the future you get. You get to control that. It is up to you. You see a bright future for yourself. You see yourself doing amazing, wonderful things. You can get that. You see yourself, losing your house, or having a miserable life, or not being happy with what's going on. Guess what you get? So it's up to you to think about what your future is and create that. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay, now you get to do some work. This is a great exercise for you to really think about what it is you want. So I added some questions here to help you think about it, because again, it's not easy for most people to do this. So I want you to really think about it, and some people have to go all the way back to childhood to find some of these things, and that's okay. Whatever, at some point in your life, whatever made you happy, whatever made your heart sing, whatever made you feel alive, I want you to find those things and write them down. And this is limited to just your job. This is in life in general. What is it about you, and who you are, that you know actually you can feel it in your heart, that makes you happy? What is it that you can get excited about? What do you value the most? This is always very important for people. When it comes down to values, what is the things that you really use to run your life by that are so important to you? just being able to think about things that are happy. Obsessions here is in a positive way. It is the idea that you just really, there is something that you just are really compelled to do in a positive way. It could be considered a passion as opposed to obsession. And then what would fulfill you? What brings you and others joy? So we have to get other people involved here too, because it's not just a selfish world, it's also contributing to the joy of other people. So spend some time, write down some things, and really use your heart to find these items in yourself. You can feel it when you can feel that happiness, then you know you've got a clue of what the answers are for you. What that is and feel what it does to you physically when you think about that particular item. So pick one, focus in. If it's a memory or reminds you of something, feel comfortable closing your eyes, do that. Just focus in and really feel in your body that item. Stay with it. Focus in. Feel the joy. Feel your heart expanding. Feel the body relax. Stay with it. Okay, great. Good job. So what was it like to do this exercise? How many people found it difficult? A few people difficult? What was difficult about it? Can you share, if anyone wanted to share what was difficult for you? I'm looking at you, you're smiling at me. We don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah?
I'm not doing, I think I'm so used to just doing things and not reflecting.
Okay. So exactly part of the issue is that most of us are out of alignment with what we want. So what we want is kind of over here, and we're over here. So part of the exercise is to align ourselves so that we're living from what we want. It's not selfish. Some people feel that this is a selfish thing, or that it would be arrogant to really go out, or narcissistic to focus on yourself and your own wants. But it's not that. We're not talking about that. We're really talking about understanding yourself and having that alignment be who you are and how you act in the world from that aligned place, so that your wants and who you are and what you're doing are aligned. Does that make sense to people? But most of us don't have that. We have it over here. And that's part of it. We've been working too hard. We've been busy with responsibilities. We've been taking care of everybody else. And we haven't been worried about ourselves, or we're focused in on ourselves. So bringing that together and making that more of an alignment for yourself is really going to change how you enjoy your life. And this actually adds to more fear. When your wants are over here and you're not operating from there, you actually have more fear in your life as a result, because when you are lined up with what you want and you're moving forward towards that, you have much more of a sense of joy. So it's much easier to be happy instead of getting sucked up into the negativity of the world. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So some people, it seems pretty easy. Tell me about easy. Go ahead.
I think I just have so many things to put down. Like, there's so many things that I love and enjoy, and I just feel like at times I kind of lose myself. I'm always running around doing this, doing that, which I'm very capable of, but at some point I just don't know how to stop. And just kind of do
So you have too many directions, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know that. But there's a lot of things that bring you pleasure and
Right.
joy in your
Yep.
life and happiness.
Yep.
Good. And you were easy for you to identify.
Yep. I probably could have filled up more, but I didn't want to go off the page.
That's great. Well, good. And that's so you have more of an alignment in your life. Now, you may not have an alignment moving forward with it because
Right.
you're confused in that, but you at least know more about who you are and what makes you light up.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
excellent. How about anybody else? What it was easy? Yes.
Well, once I got past the fact that I have been punished for trying to do what I enjoy because I wasn't in a good environment for myself any longer for growth,
Mm-hmm.
I was very inhibited by that. Once I got past it, it's like, it's like a fountain. It's like,
Yes.
what about gardening? What about, the joy of getting people together? And what about success? All these beautiful things.
Yes.
Yes.
Very often when our environment has not supported who we are, and there is that issue, and I think anyone who felt like they've been in a toxic or a hostile environment where people were not allowing you to be who you were. You had to line up according to someone else's rules, and so part of you wasn't present. Your wants were over here because they didn't fit with where you were. So that happens very often. So how many people, when unemployed, have actually done something that they've always wanted to do but never had a chance now that you have the time? Like what? What kind of things have you been doing?
I've been exercising more.
Exercise is huge. It's really important, too, to help you keep your attitude and feeling good. You got more time to do it. That's great. How about you?
I've been sleeping more.
Sleeping more?
I don't wake up at like 11 o'clock. I usually wake up at 6 to go to work, but...
Well, sometimes your body needs that. Some people get really burnt out and they don't realize that they've been operating on very little sleep.
But
you don't want to. Well, you don't want to also do recommend that people, I'm sure, unemployed, keep a schedule, because if you sleep the whole day out and then you're up all night on the internet, then you're not in sync with the world, and it can actually be depressing for you. So.
The one good thing is I watch my soaps. So
I'm
like home.
So now you have time to watch the soaps instead of watching them later on. That's great.
That's one of the things that I discovered, and that is the opportunity.
Law and Order. Can I get my law degree by watching Law and Order?
Not that specific, but realizing that the workaday world has a certain rhythm,
yes,
and it's not mine.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And having been in it, that rhythm was not making me well.
Yes.
It's a sickening environment.
It can be physically. It can physically make you ill.
For most people, and there's lots of history to prove that. But so like I'm on this road where I'm hoping to intersect my particular rhythm with a world that jives with it.
Excellent. So that should be part of your vision. Hold that on to when we do the vision, the visualization exercise, and that matching what you do with something that you love with your own physical rhythms and who you are. That's alignment. Yeah, beautiful. So you know that about yourself. So this is the idea. I'm sorry. Do you want to share something?
Oh yeah, I just want. I've been becoming more organized. But I think almost like obsessing about organizing because I have too much time.
Well, people feel like if you're used to working a full work week or more. I know I had a 60-hour-a-week job. It was you have a whole lot of time to organize or to clean closets and do that. So it is a tremendous opportunity to organize yourself at home. And also to get clear the clutter, because in a lot of ways your clutter can keep you in the past. So by getting rid of things and clearing up and getting organized, now you are actually opening up for being able to be something new in the future. But if if your surroundings are not allowing that, and there's just an awful lot of stuff that you've just accumulated, and that actually can hold you back. So for some people, I have a lot of people who, when they're unemployed, that's what they want to do, is they want to clean out all that stuff that you haven't had time to do, which is a really great great concept. I had one woman in the class that she's systematically painting every room in her house. And she has the time paints. Geez, it feels so good that everything is fresh and clean. So it gives you an opportunity to do some things to change your environment, to make you feel good, to garden. My garden was never so much beautiful last summer because I actually had time to do it. It was really nice. Yeah.
Kind of the flip side of that is, when I was working and the weekend would come and I'd say, I should do this, but I want to enjoy the weekend because my time is so short. Now that I have the time to do certain things and I'm still not doing them, I have to ask myself, well, how important are they really to you? If you have all this time and you're not doing it, just forget about it.
Well, and there are some things that we have on our list that we think we want to do. So, but now that you have the time to think about it, is that really me? And again, it's an alignment issue. Is that really what I want? And that you thought you wanted it. It was lined up like that. But when you have more time, you sit back and say, no, I don't. Now, or some people just put things off and say, even when they're unemployed, they feel like they can't clean a closet during the day because they got to be looking for a job. You can't have a good time during the day because you got to be looking for a job. So, part of it is also taking some time each day to find what makes you joyful. And an employer is going to hire someone who brings a high energy. If you are drained and you're not taking care of yourself while you're unemployed, then that is reflected in who you are and the energy that you have. So you now have an opportunity to take a walk at lunchtime and get outside, or to do something that will actually make you feel that joy and feeling alive. So now you've got the time to invest in that. It's finding those things and bringing that alignment together. Okay. Any other thoughts or comments on actually doing this exercise? Yes.
I just feel that you can live life more. I had what I did in my job was we planned lots of events and different fun things like that. But then I was always too burnt out to want to do it on my own. Like, I can't tell you how many years in a row I'd say to people, I'm going to have a Halloween party. And then by the time it would come up, I'd be doing so much at work. So this year I've done all that. I've had a Halloween party, I've done a Christmas party. You can't stop saying, I hate Christmas, because of retail.
Yeah.
You just, everything that
everyone else's Christmas.
Everyone's having fun, and you're like, I freaking hate this holiday. So,
So you've really discovered the fun part of your own life and what you enjoy doing. And I think that's really important to also keep in mind, because now we're going to move into actually looking at your job. And ideally, we all need to make some money and do things, but you want to do things based on what you love and what you enjoy and what makes you feel good. And you don't want to be creating a job for the future that is not in alignment with your energy or with your values or what it is important to you. So I want you to now take another look at your list and think about, are there any themes about who you are? When you look at this list, what stands out for you? Does it tell you some insights about the kind of person you are, the kind of could also affect the kind of work that you would like to do? So yes.
I'm generally inquisitive.
Inquisitive. So having that sort of being able to ask questions and research and find out about things and learning, sounds like, is part of who you are. So great. So that's an idea, that make you feel great if that was part of what you did every day to make money. That's great. How about someone else? What do you... Yes,
learning also, research in education.
Education. So teaching someone else. Good.
Creating also.
Creating.
Learning, creating curriculum, like that.
Well, and creating can come into a lot of different areas. We're all creative people. We were born with creativity. People that, I'm not an artist. It's not about being a fine artist. Some people that is their passion and that's what they do. But everyone can be creative in what they do. And so making something new, anything that you are doing to create something new is tapping into that creative talent that we all have. But for some of us, we haven't been allowed to do that in our life. Yeah, so part of it, bringing that out, if that feels good when you make something, create a new training program, and it feels good to be able to do that, then that's what you were looking for, a job that allows you to do that. Other people's themes? Other areas? Yeah?
Education, teaching, learning, research.
Okay.
Pretty much, and it's around children.
Children. So you that's coming out. That really fills you up and brings joy to your heart. So children is great. So keep that in mind again when we do the visualization. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And yesterday I had an interview. So I'm getting closer to my dream, and it was working with autistic children. And I felt really good because I said I can bring something in, I can do this. But then the pay aspect was just somewhere else. And then they wanted you to pay for training and all this other stuff. I was just like, sounds good. So I'm just going to.
So you know that though you got a piece of information yesterday. It wasn't the right job. It wasn't ideal because it didn't match your financial needs, which is also a part of the visualization because we can't leave that money part out. So that's very important. You got a piece of information. Felt like the right direction. Money didn't work. So, but at least you're moving in the right direction. And that the next one that you want to create will have a better balance of those two things. So great. You had your hand up.
A lot of things I wrote down was more like personal. I know that when it says say no and what you want, I thought it would be more like workplace stuff. So everything on my page usually is like yoga. I do yoga. I've been doing it for about 3-4 years, and I love it. So I'm very outgoing. I love to learn, but I couldn't really picture myself being a yoga instructor. Like I like going. Plus, they don't make that much money anyway.
Well, no, but yoga is a meditation, but it's something that you like the focus of it, and it's also very introspective because it's not competitive. You're working with yourself, and you're helping you understand what your limits are and going beyond them. So it teaches you skills.
Right.
So think about what you learned from yoga. What is it that you enjoy about yoga? Maybe the peacefulness that it brings you, or the centering. So think about it, not necessarily literally. It doesn't have to be literally a yoga instructor here, but it's when you enjoy something, what is it about that you can then potentially bring to an actual job? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes.
I have a theme of moving around a lot, just being active, mobile, and not sitting behind a desk in front of.
Well, and that's a very important aspect. I mean, some people love to have the beautiful desk and the nice office, and people's imagination goes right there. But I've often had people who have no office when they do their work. They would rather be traveling out to people and being in the public eye. So keep that in mind as you go through. So your environment is going to be very different than someone else who really likes to have that nice office. So.
Isn't that called something like? If you like to be in the office, it's like a introvert.
Introvert? Well, I mean, it depends. I
don't know why I'm thinking that.
Some people need a structured environment.
Yes, sure. And everybody's going to have a different preference. And some people like to be in public and with other people, and some people like to work alone.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of that. So if all those things are going to come up as we move into the next exercise. There's another hand over here. Yes.
Mine is it's all the same thing. It's like I need to win the lottery.
What?
It's all about being with people, having fun, doing things. I want to have financial freedom so I can be with my friends. But when I was working, I actually had a job that I really enjoyed, actually. And the only thing I hated about it was working weekends because it kept me from doing the things that I wanted to do as well. But while I was there, it was all about planning things, having fun, and a lot of the people that I work with became my friends.
So it sounds like life balance is important to you. So that's another issue. So if you want to have time to yourself or with family and friends, then that should be part of what you were looking for. Some people, that's not a big issue. That's not a value necessarily. But there are other people who are really struggling with that, and they say that's the number one thing. And the work isn't as important as the fact that you can, whatever you do, you can have that balance in your life. So think about it in that way.
Yes, like I keep going. I loved what I did, but I don't want to work weekends. So it's like trying to figure out what I liked about that.
Exactly. So there were some things that you enjoyed about your job, the kind of things that you're good at, that you enjoy doing, and kind of like helping people and creating fun for other people is something you're really good at. Being able to set up something that other people have a really good time at, but you also now you know very clearly that the weekend thing is not what you want. So you want something that balances that out. So, yes.
Just in general, I'm just bursting and just all over the place, multidisciplinary, multifaceted. I don't want to put it into a negative, like, oh, you're all over the place, but I get that all the time, from people who are trying to.
Well,
because I want to do so many things.
So that should be part of what you're looking for. It's an opportunity to express the many aspects of yourself.
Right.
And it's focus is good, but also if it's too negative, it's not really going to help you be who you are and to really enjoy who you are. And if you're more of a multifaceted person, that's great. So now you want to think about that, a job that will allow you to be who you are.
Not just in the office,
exactly.
Not just a writer.
Exactly.
Like, as I've been for 27 years.
Having many different, maybe a much broader view of what it is that you can be and achieve.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Anybody else? All right, we're going to start this next exercise then. And here's the way it works. We're going to start talking about this, and there is no limitations on this. So we're going to really want to work on this concept because people do this all the time. When we started out today with the exercise of moving over here, we limited ourselves the first time. The second time, we actually, were able to crack that limit and go a little further. Our brain does this. It's going to shut you down. So what I really want you to try to wrap around is that there are no limitations for this. It's going to do an average day in your ideal job. So limitations here are financial. We're not worried about it. If you're creating something brand new, I had a lady the other day, she had a spa on a mountaintop.
All right.
What a beautiful image. We're not worried about how she financed that. That's not part of the deal because that would shrink it down and her whole concept would have gone away. So just keep it open. The money is not, this is not about how, this is about what. So if you're in your mind you see something that potentially could cost money to create, then don't go there. Just, let that go. It's no financial issue in here. That's not what we're worried about today. Geographic. You can be anywhere in the world. I usually get someone on a tropical island. It's like, one person was on the beach or on a tropical island. It's okay. You can be anywhere you want. Wherever it shows up for you, it's telling you something. It doesn't mean literally that you're going to be on the tropical island, but it's telling you something about what it is, the environment that you're looking for, how you want to express yourself. So don't limit it geographically. One woman who said that was her ideal. She wanted a job that was 10 to 20 minutes away from her home. That was her criteria. So she didn't change her home, and her job was just close, and that was really important. I've had other people who want to go to live in a whole other country, or to move to another part of the United States, or to just don't allow yourself to shut that down. If something exotic shows up, then go with it. It's really cool. Health. If you have any kind of physical limitations, not in the story right here. We're not going to think about, I can't do that because physically I'll never be able to do that, or that's really asking too much for somebody like me. No, not here. We're not worried about that. Qualifications, again, it's not worrying about degrees or experience or how on these things. If you see yourself doing something, you can do that. So I was more than 20 years as a corporate executive. I didn't know how to be an entrepreneur, but I figured it out. It was scary, but I did it. You can do that. Everyone has the ability to do what they want, so don't worry about the qualifications. And the last limitation that happens quite a bit is limiting people. This idea will come up, and then in your mind you're saying, a loved one or a spouse or a family member or a best friend. Like, what would they think about me? Or that would never. They would think I'm crazy. They're not here. They're not in this room. This is all about you.
What about the IRS?
Not even the IRS is definitely not in the room.
That's limiting. Because if you've had issues,
Don't go there, because that's actually creating a negative issue.
Yeah.
So you focusing on the IRS and an issue that you've had, let that go for sure. So there is no deal. Now, again, this is a visualization. Some people are going to actually have a very specific job that's going to show up and they know exactly what they want, and that's cool. Other people are going to get more of the quality of what they want, the environment that they want, how they want to feel in their job, and that's fine too. Some people don't even know what work they're doing. They just know that they're having a good time doing it. That's okay too. So this is not necessarily going to be a complete picture for folks. But I want you to try to use your imagination as much as possible in doing this and just let it go. Okay? And any kind of those negative reality things are not part of this exercise. This is anything goes, basically.
So I want to become an invader.
Well, whatever, part of it is really allowing yourself to have the freedom to do this, because this is not something that we normally do. So when you're going to get a little voices that are going to come in and you're going to have an image and then they're like, you can't do that. Are you kidding? what do you think you're doing? And we're not going to be listening to that, okay? No limits. Whatever shows up, and it might be really strange, and you know, like, why am I thinking that? But it's symbolic in a lot of ways for people that have some things are very just telling you about a direction to go in. So it's really important to just allow it to happen and to receive information from inside of you about where you want to go. Because we don't listen to ourselves very often. And through this exercise, you're going to let that voice come out. And the voice is going to say, this is what I want. This is what makes me happy. So don't negate anything. Let it come up. And just let it happen. Okay? Average is, the whole idea is you could do it all day, every day, and not get bored. So it's not average in the idea of mediocre. It's average in that you just love to get up in the morning and do this work. That you can't wait to get there, that you are energized and you are turned on and you're fully living when you do this job. And then it's ideal. It's what you've always wanted. We've been talking about this. It's really, it's like when you would get your ideal job, you can feel it in your heart because some people cry. I've had people cry in the sense, because it is just like, I want that. And that's what the kind of feeling that you should have when you do this. Okay? All right, so a couple of other things in understanding how we're going to do this. Actually, what else is this? I'll sit down. This is going to take about 10 minutes, and I'm going to walk you through. Let me do that. So there was one story I wanted to tell you before we actually got started. And this is just again to help you along the theme of what we've been talking about here. So there's a young man. He hears about a great place to go fishing. And he's got the day off and the sun is shining. He said, all right, today I'm going fishing. I'm going to check out this place. And he gets there on the bank of the river, and he looks down, and there's an older gentleman further down, and he is catching, hello, hi.
This is LinkedIn, right?
No.
Oh, it's
sorry. Really out of place in that one. So sees a guy down the river, and he's catching fish after fish. And every time he catches a fish, he has this broken ruler, and he measures the fish by this broken ruler. And if the fish is bigger than the ruler, he throws it back. And the young man is like really confused. Like, why is he just keeping the ones that are smaller? Why would he do that? It's like driving him crazy. So I have to ask. So he goes down the bank of the river, and he says, excuse me, I see you catching all these fish. And I don't understand why you're measuring them and then throwing the big ones back. Are the big ones bony, or is there some kind of a regulation that you can't keep the big ones? And the man says to him, he says, no, sonny, this here ruler is the size of my frying pan. Okay, all right. So it is a joke, but it is a story about what we do in our lives. We have a ruler, and we have a little frying pan, and we measure anything that comes in to us, opportunities and ideas, and we measure it to see, does it fit in this little idea of who I am, what I've been doing, the jobs I've been doing, the kinds of life I've been living. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't measure on the ruler, we throw them back. We kick them out, and we lose a tremendous amount of opportunity because we have this in our minds. Again, using our minds to limit ourselves, we have these small frying pans. So to do this exercise, what I really want you to do is to get a bigger frying pan. Or, if you're really brave, throw the frying pan out. There are no even frying pan limitations here. But definitely, at a minimum, allow yourself to stretch a little bit further into what you are willing to bring into your own reality. And don't be throwing out something because you don't think it fits in where you've been before or who you think you are or who other people have told you should be. So just keep it open. Big frying pan or no frying pan at all. Okay? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. All right. What else do we need to talk about? I think we got everything. Okay. So what we're going to do is to do this exercise, you're going to have to sit back in your chair, and just I'm going to ask you to sort of dim the lights a little bit. Some of them, that's good. That's good. No, that was. No, just keep it. All right. Is that okay for people?
Yeah.
That makes it a little bit easier for you. I do have occasionally someone who falls asleep. It's okay. It's okay. If you get really noisy, I will, give you a little shove to stop you snoring. But generally speaking, that's if you're that tired, that's okay. And also, in doing this, it is people get worried about doing it right. There is no right or wrong in here. You can't do it wrong. So people are going to you'll be listening to my voice, and then your mind's going to drift off, and you're going to be thinking about what you're going to do for dinner tonight, or you're going to think about what happened to you this morning or yesterday. That's okay. Just bring your mind back and listen to my voice and try to come back. So whatever, it's human, it's natural, you are going to drift. Unless you've really practiced doing a lot of meditation, it's going to be very hard to stay focused the whole time. But do the best you can and just, see what happens for you. And I also want you to look at as using all of your senses. How many people think of them are really more visual people? We have a lot more artists and photographers here. Okay, so you may get, if you're really a visual person, you may get some really very specific pictures. You might get a lot of detail and color, and really have some great vision of what it is, visually picture of what you're looking for. Other people might not get that. You might get more of a sense. You might actually just hear some things. Maybe that a voice will come in and tell you this is what you want. That'll be fine. Some people smell things, and some people are more feeling. Some people just say that they feel sort of colors, and it's more of an emotional experience. Whatever happens for you is fine. So again, you can't do it wrong. There's just whatever is going to come up is just be comfortable with it and let it happen. Okay? And try to use all of your senses. Really, I'm going to ask about things, so try to, just explore and, put it out there and try to put as much detail and effort into creating this for yourself as you can. Because what you get out of here is really up to you in terms of what you put in. So, some people are more comfortable with this than others. So I know that it's challenging, and there's some people don't feel like they can hang in there. I ask you then to just be quiet and respect the other people in the room. So don't make noise or shuffle around or leave the room. Try to keep it as quiet as possible. It's kind of quiet out here today too. Sometimes there's something happens and you hear noises outside the room. I just say to try to ignore any kind of sound that would get in the way and just let it go and come back and focus on my voice. But respect is very important here, and sit through the exercise and respect the people in the room to be quiet through that process. Okay, are there any questions going through this? All right, great. You're very brave to do this, so I appreciate that it isn't always something easy for people to do, but I do know that the results can be amazing. So we're going to get started, then everyone, I recommend that you sit back in your chair. Have your feet flat on the floor. Crossing your feet doesn't work quite as well. If you have something in your hands, take them out of your hands. You put your hands on your lap, or on the table, wherever it is, so that your hands are comfortable. And okay, so you want to close your eyes. And I'm going to be doing some breathing exercises up front. And some of this exercise, breathing, can help you also if you have trouble sleeping. It might be something that you want to remember and do for yourself, trying to get to sleep at night, or if you wake up in the middle of the night with a little anxiety, which can happen, and trying to get back to sleep, this can happen too. So I'm going to start by taking a really deep breath. Inhale and then exhale, and just relax your body as you exhale. Good. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Okay. Well, I want you to take another deep breath in, and I want you this time to just sort of let go of anything that's happened since before you came in the room. It's the past. You're not concerned with it. We're going to let it go. So deep breath in, exhale, all the past. It's not part of what we're doing now. We're staying present. And now take another deep breath in, and we're thinking about anything that's going to happen in the future after you leave here. That's not what we're thinking about. It's in the future. We want to let that go. So deep breath in, let it go. Good. Okay, so now we're going to try a 5-breath relaxation to really get you to a little bit deeper place. So first, inhale. We're going to start at the top, and we're going to work our way down through your body to relax in a systematic way. Okay, so take a deep breath in and exhale, but down through your face and your nose and your mouth to your chin. Big breath in, and relax down through your shoulders and your chest and your stomach and your waist. Take another deep breath in, relaxing at the shoulders and the arms, the elbows, the wrists, and the fingers. Another deep breath in, starting at the waist. Relax your hips, your thighs, your ankles, your feet. And now starting at the very top of your head again, take a deep breath in and relax your face, your chest, your hips, your ankles, your feet. Good. Now just feel yourself sitting in your chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your clothes on your body. Feel the air in the room touching your face and your hands. Staying in the present moment. Staying focused on my voice. Now we're going to start to think about our ideal job. Starting our day. I want you to think about where you are. Where do you want to be? Where do you start your day? Think about what time it is. What time are you starting your day? What are you wearing? What are you thinking as you start your day? What are you feeling at the beginning of your work day? And now you're coming into your work environment. And you're looking around, all around you. What do you see? What is there? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you feel? And now you're looking at the coworkers that you have. Who are you working with? What are your coworkers like? How do they behave? How do you work together? What do you talk about? How do you feel about your coworkers? And now we see the boss. Who is the boss? What would the boss be like? How does the boss behave? How do you work together? How do you feel about the boss? Now you're coming into your workspace. Look around you. What's there? What equipment and tools do you have to do your job? What personal items do you have there? What does this space say about who you are? So now you're getting started in your job. For the first half of the day, what are the most important things for you to be doing? How are you doing them? Who are you doing them with? How do you feel about doing them? So now it's lunchtime. Where are you having lunch? What are you eating? Who are you eating with? Oh, now it's after lunch and it's for the second half of your work day. Now what do you see yourself doing? How are you doing that work? Who are you doing it with? How do you feel about doing it? And look, it's payday. There's a paycheck on you, in front of you. You see yourself opening up that paycheck. See your name on the check. See the amount of money that you've been paid. How do you feel about your paycheck? Now it's coming to the end of the day. What time is it? When are you ending your work day? As you look back on the whole day, from the morning till the end, how do you feel about what you have accomplished that day? What are you thinking? as you leave? How are you feeling? Great. So when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, come back into the room. I'm going to turn the lights on, so it's kind of rude. There you go. All right. Bright. All right. So on your package there, pages 6, 7, and 8, has the questions, most of the questions that I asked. I want you to take the time now to write down as much detail as possible about what your experience was while it's still fresh before you lose it. Write down as much as you can remember. And if it wasn't all that vivid for you, now try to just use these questions to come up with some ideas too. So you can add some things here that may not have come up in the vision, but also if you had some really strong ideas, just keep writing things, whatever comes up. It's important to document this as much as possible so that you have it as a memory. All right, excellent. Very important to document here. So I just want to talk to you about what the whole experience was like. So where were you? Where were some... where did you physically, geographically, what came up for people? Any particular... Do we have any tropical islands here? No? No? Yes, we did.
All
right. So tell me about where you were.
Well, my dream is to have a house by the ocean, so that was where I started my
Excellent,
idea.
excellent. So you want to be close to the ocean. It's important to you, makes you feel good. Great. Why not? Excellent. Where were you?
Just Norton Corporate.
Norton Corporate.
Norton Corporate.
There you go.
I was in a little boutique, and it was kind of brick and hardwood floors.
Okay, great. Did you get a sense of where you were, where it was? You know where it was?
Well, I'm from Newburyport, so it's up there.
Okay, so on the water too, so close to it, but a place where they had a whole different environment. Excellent. How about you?
I was in my home.
Okay,
Nice.
working from home, so yeah, there's always somebody who's doing that. The same home you're in now, or a better home?
It was in the woods somewhere.
Okay, excellent. So a lot of times we sort of upgrade the vision of where we would like to even live as part of the process. So excellent, good for you. That's great. So how about when you started your day? What time was it when you got going? 9:30. You got my first phone call? That's okay. All right. So good. So, there's some flexibility. Some people are early morning people and some people are not. That's okay too. So how about, what are you wearing? What were some people, how did you see yourself? Casual. Okay. Comfortable
pants and a top and sweater maybe.
Okay, all right. How about anybody else?
Business.
Okay. So you were all dressed up. So yeah, all right.
But I couldn't really, when I was thinking about it, I think I was thinking too hard because I had all these different things come into my mind and head. But I couldn't really focus on the images, so I just wrote down.
That's fine. But do you enjoy getting all dressed up and wearing a suit? Does that make you feel good? All right, then perfect. It's just as long as you were comfortable in what came up for you, that's what you want to be. So some people really love that, all dressed up in a suit and enjoy how that makes them feel. So good. Yes.
I started out my exercise.
Yay! Oh, all right. I like that. Working in the sweats. It always works good. How about you?
I thought of myself wearing really comfortable, casual, fashionable, pretty clothes.
Nice.
The kind of things that you don't wear in a telecommunications firm.
That's right. Not a corporate uniform. All right. Okay, good. But you felt really good in them.
Yeah.
So that was the idea, that you were comfortable, you felt good in what you were
Stuff
wearing.
I can't afford now.
Sometimes guys don't care about this, but you can see the women tend to get into that.
Yeah.
It is important what you're wearing. Okay, so how about the work environment? One person said it was kind of a boutique-y kind of place. What was there in your work environment when you showed up? What kind of place was it? What did you see?
I had a lot of sunshine.
Sunshine. A lot of windows always shows that people have light, plants, or a view. Anybody have a view? Okay, so you can looking out and seeing something that fills your soul just to look out the window.
Artwork on the wall.
Artwork. All right.
State-of-the-art computer equipment.
Beautiful. Oh, equipment, yes. All right. So very nice to have, I had one guy who said, it's just computers that work. Yes, he was just like happy that everything was functional. So that's great. But state-of-the-art, it's always nice to think about that. So how about your coworkers? What was the deal with the coworkers? Or how many people did not have coworkers? Or working on your own?
When I wanted to have coworkers, they were there.
Okay, all right.
Only under like my.
Okay, well that's fine. So, but the people who did have coworkers, what were they like? Tell me about them.
Laid back.
Laid back.
Not very serious about their jobs, but laid back and joking around in the morning.
So comfortable to be with. Yep.
And trusting, I trusted them.
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
So there was
Like
there was that sense that you
Yeah,
were
we're all in it together.
in it together.
In the education area, they're always committed to something.
Great. So they committed to a goal together. So there was a sense of moving forward as a team. Collaborative. People have that sense of it. So that's good. What else did you have? You have for coworkers?
Like a girlfriend, you know, like a girlfriend type of a
So someone really
friendship
close.
and funny, and someone funny and outgoing, and my dog.
And your dog was there. Anybody else have pets? That very often shows up for people that actually have their pet with them in the workplace. That's great.
No, I gotta get the pet first. I haven't been able to have a pet, so I want an environment where I can have.
There you go. I've been looking myself for a pet on Pet Finder. There are so many dogs who need homes, so you can afford to take care of a dog. I'd highly recommend it.
I have a question for everyone. What do people smell?
Were there any coffee? Yeah, coffee. Espresso coffee. Flowers.
No, lilac.
Yeah. How about you? Did you
I
have
said
smell?
coffee and honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle. So all right. So
Jasmine.
smells sometimes, but some people are much more into smells, and it's really coffee. It's like morning would not be without that smell.
But no cigarettes.
No smoke. All right. Excellent. So definitely not in that kind of environment. You don't want a nice clean air. You know, a lot of people are with a nice clean environment, clean air, good healthy air to breathe. So good.
Ventilation and clean air.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, a lot of us worked in some pretty not so great places where it's not all that the environment itself wasn't all that healthy for you. So it's great to picture it in that kind of environment. You know that's important to your health. So good. So how about the boss? How many people were the boss? You got a few people. All right. Look at all that bosses. So what kind of bosses were you?
COBA. Like I was on that, I tried to put the people who work for me, trying to bring them to my level. So
so
they can be the boss.
There you go. Excellent. So great. So you're supportive and helping to build their talents and their abilities and be there to grow them. Excellent. That's a nice boss. How about you?
I could make up a boss, even though I would be my own boss, but I thought if I had a boss, they would be the three things that my former boss wasn't.
Yeah, always
patient, inspiring, and respectful.
Excellent. Nice. All right. I love patient is really great, inspiring. We all want to work for somebody who inspires us to be better and to more of who we are. That's really terrific. And respect. Is that what the third one?
Respectful.
Respectful. Yes. And I think I know personally I've been in situations that weren't all that respectful. You want that as a quality. Absolutely. So how about people who had a boss? What kind of a boss did you come up with? Anything that you want to add in terms of your boss?
Supportive, fair, open-minded.
Fair is good, open-minded.
Intuitive, productive.
Intuitive, so that's great. Excellent. So actually someone who's tapped in a little bit more to what's going on, and particularly for you, that's great.
I think if I had a boss, I would definitely say appreciative.
Appreciative,
There are a
yes.
lot of bosses out there that do not appreciate you for you and the work that you do.
I just did a lot of leadership development and training of bosses, and I was a big thing. Just tell people they did a good job.
Yeah.
They definitely speak up when people make mistakes.
Right.
They don't often show just a little appreciation for something done right, or just who that person is. And I don't know, nice appreciation like awards and money are good too.
Yes. And I thought, okay, and if I have to work for someone who gives me credit for what I do.
Credit, yes.
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 And
excellent.
And also is trusting and open as opposed to being parent, kind of
over your
under
shoulder.
the, keeping things under the table and being a little
hidden
leery of
agendas,
you. You're, just watching out for you.
Okay, so no hidden agendas. Yes, and trusting, so you can be more autonomous, that you're going to do the job as an adult would instead of being over your shoulder telling you what to do. So great. All right, so excellent. How about the work that you were doing? What showed up for you? What kind of work were you doing?
I was a kind of co-boss, coordinator, diversity program, this is the title.
You have a title, that's terrific. Okay, excellent.
Program developer, support and development.
Nice. I like that. So good. So now you're getting a sense of what you want to do.
I was working on the final touches of a curriculum with my boss, and I was going to go out that afternoon after lunch, after my delicious lunch, to a site visit at an elementary school.
Excellent. So you had the whole day.
Whole day was planned.
Nice. Excellent.
I was a private tour guide, and I spent the first half of the day doing research and kind of writing up different tours and stuff, and then in the afternoon I spent with clients.
Out with clients? Excellent.
After I had lunch at a nice restaurant.
Lunch is very important. You see yourself, whatever, lunch is this part of the day. How about the paychecks? Yeah. Do we like those paychecks? Yeah. All right. Excellent. Wow. You paid yourself well. So it's very important to put that in part of the picture. You're not working for nothing. You want to be paid, and you want to be paid well for who you are. So that is really important to add that piece. So when did you end the day? What time was it? Anybody have a
6, 7 a.m. after others left.
Okay.
Mine was on at 4:30 or 5.
Okay, so a little bit earlier. So one guy said whenever the work was done. I kind of like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like no time clocks, no time restraints. You just did, whatever it was done, it was done. That was pretty good. So how did you feel at the end of the day? What was going on in your mind? How were you feeling?
So accomplishments. You made some accomplishments.
Accomplishments. Okay.
You feel kind of up about the job and looking forward to, developing it and bringing it forward.
So it excited you what you did. So terrific. Anybody else? What do you think? Satisfied. Absolutely.
Satisfied.
Nice feeling to feel satisfied. Absolutely, yes.
Good. Everything went well, planned, and was organized.
Okay.
And the next day is my vacation day.
Oh, there you go. So you're looking forward to vacations. All right. So with your big paycheck.
Yes.
So that's good. Anybody else?
I said, I use the word complete, like I accomplished something, and I can step back and enjoy what I've done. Nice. So accomplishments can be a high value for people. So particularly when you're unemployed, it's very hard to feel like you're accomplishing something. So it's nice to have a sense that you are doing work that you can feel accomplished. And I love the word complete. That's really nice. That you really felt like a whole thing happened. That's great. Anybody else? How you felt?
Well, I just relaxed and looking forward to what I'm going to do tonight now.
That's excellent. So you still have energy to go out and have a good time. So you're relaxed. You're not all stressed out and burnt out. That's terrific. So
it was interesting. All through it, I had things like kind of a relaxed environment, fun environment, social environment, and I never even put the paycheck thing down until the end, and I sort of made it up because I think I'm so more focused on I want to do what I want to do. It's not about the money. It's just
and that's good because a lot of things wanting to do what you want to do, but we also do want to focus on the money because it's hard for some people because I know that's not my first inkling either. It's sort of I'd rather just be doing what I want to do, but you have to also bring the money to you too. So it's very important to have that aspect. All right, so what I'd like you to do now is to go through your list and circle the things that are the most important to you. So where are the deal breakers? If these were not in your ideal job, it would not be your job. So circle things that are so important to you that you want to have there, that you want to feel a certain way, that you want people to behave in a certain way.
Is there a limit?
No, just whatever is important to you, because then we're going to do an exercise with what you've circled. So just pick out. They should be the real deal breakers. Not that the rest of it isn't important, but this is really prioritizing some things for you.
Minutes.
When you've circled your things, you're going to look on page 9, and this is going to develop your job visualization statement. And it starts with, I am so happy and grateful I have my ideal job, that, and now pull from the things that you have circled as a way to describe what this job looks like or feels like or is to you. So you can bullet it down and make a bulleted list, or just make a big long sentence. Grammar is not important here. It's just getting down in what are you happy and grateful for that's in this job. So we'll pick those things out and write them down on page 9. And watch your language here. You want to keep it in a positive, use positive words. I had one guy who said he wanted to do this till he died, and I thought that probably was not a good word to leave in there. So I changed it to, for the rest of his life. But also if you said, you want coworkers that are not mean, let's turn it around and say coworkers that are nice and respectful, so look at your words. Are you using positive words when you're describing this job? So what was it like to actually write down the statement of your ideal job?
I actually circled the questions, but I still use the answers.
Okay, all right, okay. But how did it feel when you actually did this, wrote it out?
I was growing up.
Ah, okay. So there was some expansion in the process happening for you. Good. Yes.
I felt like my life would be complete.
Okay, so you could feel that.
Because, other aspects of my life are pretty together. My work when I was working was just awful. And I thought, gee, I spent 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day at this place. And isn't it too bad when I can't make it?
Yes.
So I love this.
You love that. There's people, that's what I'm looking for. You love what you wrote down. Does everybody love it? Everybody can feel it in their heart that they love that. All right. What was it like to share it with somebody else?
It was interesting. Nancy, her summarization of it was like, yeah, that's like you hit it right on. I want this, and this. And
Perfect.
what else could you ask for?
So it's great to hear someone else's, but what about sharing for you? What was it like to share your dream with a stranger, essentially?
Comfortable.
It was comfortable. Good. All right. Well, part of why we do this, it's really important, first off, to write it down, actually handwrite it, as opposed to, using a computer. It actually helps to lock in both sides of the brain. And then sharing it with someone else. You're putting it out there in the universe. You're speaking your dream to someone else. It's very powerful to actually do that and to share it with each other to be able to do that. So it's really important. I just want you to now add on the bottom of your of this statement, this or something better. This or something better, because we only know today, this is what we think is our perfect dream that makes us happy, and that's what we want. But we don't know tomorrow. Something else could come up that we want to add to it. So this or something better.
I'm laughing because I can't think of, right now I just can't think of anything that could
anything possibly better than what you came up with. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. And hold it as that. But you don't know, down the line, this statement is something you can adapt and you can change, you can edit. If it isn't quite what you want, take it home and think about it, reread it, think about the exercise that you went through. Even next week, you might come up with a new idea. The concept is you really want to read this statement to yourself twice a day. To really,
affirmation.
It's an affirmation to bring this job to you. If you really feel that this is what you want, then you can create this in your life. You have the power to do that, but you have to keep asking for it. You have to really feel it. You have to, when you read it, you just don't read it rote and then it's like, nah, 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 nah. You want to feel yourself there. You want to believe that you have this job already, and you can feel how wonderful it is to do this job every day, to get up and go to this job and be who you really want to be in this job and have the emotional response to it. So if you do that, you're creating that in the universe. You're actually making that happen for you. Okay? So twice a day, and keep refining it if you want to, but if it's perfect, then that's okay too. Just keep it going. So real quickly, some people are going to get some negativity come up now that you made this concept happen. Oh yeah. There's going to be, that little voice sitting on your shoulder and saying, "You can't do that," or "That will never happen," or "Who do you think you are?" For some people it may be, something that's achievable right away. For other people it might be a longer term thing. But what comes up for you that makes you say you can't believe or you don't believe? What are the obstacles for you? Yes.
Other people.
Other people. Very important. I had a woman in one of the classes, she actually decided she wanted to have a llama farm. Go for it. She had a whole thing. She was very excited about it. She came from a corporate world, and she said, "My mother's going to kill me."
She must be like Farmville.
Well, she just, it was very clear for her. She had this great vision. So people are going to get in you, going to bring you down. People are not going to believe in your dream. And unfortunately, it'd be really nice to think that everybody who loved us would support us in our dream, but it doesn't always work that way. So you have to deal with that. And we're in part of an action plan, as we can talk about now, is that you want to find a partner in believing. So you want to find someone in your life who believes in your dream, who can help you, just to support you, to ask you, "How's it going?" So you can tell them, "Oh, I did this weekend, and I'm moving a little bit closer. And oh, and this showed up as a result of what I did. Look at that. I met somebody, and they had a contact, and this started to happen." Someone who can appreciate your excitement and your enthusiasm about going for your dream. And try to avoid as much as possible the people who are not going to support it. So everybody think of someone in their life that they think that they could share this dream with, and that they would be there. And if you don't have one, you want to really try to find someone. And sometimes in these classes, people have paired up to believe in their dreams, or to finding someone else who is, that has a similar idea of what they want to do. But definitely you want somebody, at least one. You can have more than one, but you at least want somebody on your side to help you with your dream. That's great. So what can you do to actually help that you can pursue this? What is it that you really believe about yourself, or that you know, why do you really want this? When you look at your dream.
I think as for myself, probably determination would be the biggest thing that I have inside myself. Is determination.
Determination. So, all right. So you never quit. That's a really good thing to know that about yourself. You're going to make it happen because you're determined. So it's very important to have that. Definitely, yes.
The only thing I can come up with is that it's in me.
It's in you. Excellent. Excellent. It's who you are, and it's what you want to do. Everybody write this down. I deserve this. You all deserve this. We think that we're not worthy of things. People have told us we're not worthy. People have beat us down. You deserve to have this. This is your dream. You deserve it. You need to believe that. And if you're having trouble with that, believing that, you need to focus on that every day and say, I believe that I know, I believe in my dream. I deserve to have my dream. Say it over and over again until you really do believe it. It's fake it till you make it concept. And it's very important that you know you deserve that. All right, that's to wrap up. We want to just think about taking action. And these are some great quotes, but you don't have to take a lot of action here. So this is, baby steps are good, but it's action every day. You've got to do something towards your dream. This is the kind of thing that, again, it doesn't drop out of the sky. You have to take some kind of action to make it happen. And I won't spend a lot of time because we're running over, but 1%. Not a lot. Each day towards your dream, one little step, one little conversation, one little piece of work to get you towards your dream. That's all we're talking about. Now, some days you might have a huge step or a lot of steps, but all we're doing is talking about creating momentum towards it in some way, even if it's just a tiny thing. And looking at it in the idea that you just have to get started, and it's scary, in spite of the fear, do what you have to do. We talk about doing it afraid. Some of these dreams you have are really scary. You're stepping out, you're putting yourself out there, doing something you've never done before. Again, watch the fear. We talked about that in the beginning. When the fear comes up, or the little voice on the side of your head tells you you're not good enough to do this, don't listen to that. Don't go from the fear. Go back to your dream. Read it again. I want this. Feel it in your heart. I want this. I deserve this. I can do this. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is just real quickly think about an action plan. So you're going to think about some actions, if you need any resources, and try to put a stake in the ground for a date of completion. What can you do by next Wednesday or next Thursday, a week from now? And the first thing should be that partner of believing, right in the front there. Who is your partner of believing? You want to share your dream with that person. If you can identify them. If you don't have one, that should be your first thing to do, is to find that person. And then there just a few other steps. You want 3 or 4 other things you're going to do, maybe. And some of it might be around researching some things, talking to somebody, to looking at, up if there's some training that is possible that you want to take. What is it that you want to do to move forward? You may have already started some things. Maybe you've already got some things going that are taking you in that direction. But only a few things are necessary for you to do it. You just need to start the momentum to move towards it. And then some new things are going to show up as a result of you moving towards your dream. You can't really lay it out completely at this stage because you're not sure how you're going to get there. But one step at a time, you're going to figure it out. And try to put a date on it. Does anybody want to share one of their actions? What are you going to do? Somebody like to tell us what you're going to do? Go ahead.
Oh, I want to go to the Wholesale University and take the artist management program.
Perfect.
master's in arts.
All right, so you really got that confirmed, that
Well,
sounds...
I really feel like that's the right thing for me, but I really, if I can't get financing, I couldn't start for a year if I do all the other stuff.
Okay, but stay open
Yeah.
to the fact that financing
Yes,
is
financing.
available. So
Yeah.
what did you do, if you thought it wasn't, if it was possible? So what could you do if it was possible for you to do this? So don't set up any limits for
Yeah.
yourself. There's a lot of available money for retraining. There are grants. There are small business loans. A lot of money available right now if you were to start a business. So don't let any of those things get in the way. Think about what could you do if you thought it was possible, not if you thought it was going to be hard or difficult. Okay? Great. All right, so we're going to just wrap up because you guys have worked really hard. So I just want to ask you to just, all that you've been through in this 2 hours of looking at yourself, what have you learned about who you are? What is the big takeaway that you've had from this process? Yes.
And I'm capable of creating my ideal job.
Absolutely. Beautiful. You have the power. You all do. You're born with that ability. We're told that it's out here. Everything out here has the power to control what we are, but it's not true. It's inside of you. You can do this. You just have to believe in it. Absolutely. Yes.
Your ideal job that you create in your mind can be attained.
You can be attained. Absolutely. And how can that be attained?
By just, doing things, daily, searching for jobs, talking to people, networking.
Stay focused on it is what I'm looking for. Stay focused on it, and if you really want this, if this job really makes your heart sing, stay focused on it. That's the 2 times a day, and taking action towards it, stay focused on it. And you're going to get pulled off, and all kinds of things are going to happen, and maybe you need to do something temporarily to pay the bills, but stay focused on your dream. Don't let go. It's that determination or that tenaciousness. Don't quit. Stick with it. Great.